Okay. Hello. Back back for another Terraria stream. Typical Saturday for me. The week has been a bit hectic for me, to be fair, but we're back for Terraria. And assuming the stream is stable, everything should be pretty smooth today, so go ahead and jump in. Got a lot of stuff to get through, probably today. Because last time we just defeated the Eater of Worlds, which has given us access to a new pickaxe and some new tools with the shadow scales. So we were able to build a new pickaxe, which can mine new stuff, and some new armor, which is a bit stronger than the one that we had. So, there is some new progression that we can actually get to today, and some new stuff that we haven't seen before, so exciting stuff. I took the time to organize all these chests off stream. If you remember, last week I moved all my inventory to be a bit more accessible and easy to remember where everything is. So yeah, I took everything and organized it. So now everything should be pretty easily accessible, and I actually know, how the chests are organized, so it should be a bit easier to, access stuff and craft things. By the way, no face cam today. I realize there's no face cam today. Usually I have my face in the corner here. But no face cam today because I am sick. I've been sick since about Monday or so. Monday or Tuesday, I came down with a cold. This hasn't gone away. So I look not great right now. My nose is all red. My eyes are puffy. So probably not the best for me to just stare at the camera for 3 hours looking like that. I just won't. I'm thinking if there's anything we need to do before we just get started with, like, content, like in the game, but I don't really think there is. Oh, I guess we can... I did forget to go to my other world and try to find a living loom. Maybe we should do that really quickly. Other than that, though, I don't think there's too much for me to do. There's not much in the world for me to clean up at the moment, so yeah, let's just go ahead and go find a living loom, maybe. And we'll try to find some new ores and build some new tools and all that stuff, and prepare for another boss today. Yeah, like I said, I've been... Oh, here we go. A living tree right off the bat. There should be a living loom at the bottom of this, hopefully. But yeah, I've been sick, like I said, for the past couple days. You can probably hear it in my voice. My nose and my sinuses have been stuffed up since it's around the same time, since about Monday. I actually didn't do a Astria stream, not yesterday, on Thursday because of how bad it was then. I could barely talk and kind of stay focused for any length of time, so... What is this? I just decided to not stream on Thursday, and I am just recording the videos instead. So, if you're watching this and you don't watch the Astria streams, but you happen to be curious, the episodes are still going to be up like normal, but they're just going to be recorded instead of streamed, so a bit different, but not too different. Oh, hello. I was trying to do that earlier. We had a gnome. I remember we fought a gnome earlier, and I was trying to kill it so we can get that pickup. It's garden gnome pickup. But it didn't drop it, but I guess you have to bring them to the surface in order to do that. I don't know. I'll keep that in mind if I ever need some gnomes later. We got our living loom. Not the quickest I could have expected to get that. So I believe with that we can go ahead and craft living mahogany walls. And we can use that to fill in the background of that big tree that we use for armor and accessories. So we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, Thursday was pretty bad for the cold. Like I said, I could not really focus for that long or talk very well. If you watch the videos that I recorded, I'm like struggling to speak the whole time, and you can hear me sniffling and like blowing my nose for a lot of the time. I'm like muting a lot, so there's like weird pauses in the audio. It's just generally kind of awkward. But like I said, I try to get through it anyways. I recorded about an hour each day. I have, currently I have 4 videos recorded. I do need to still record the other 3 for the week. So I'm going to do that later today. Oh, excuse me. I do feel better today than I did yesterday or the day before. Living wood wall. Can't I make a living mahogany wall, or do I have to use regular wood? Oh, I guess I have to use regular wood. Okay. Yeah, I feel better than I did the other day. So I should be able to get through this stream just fine. And, you know, and still record later. If for whatever reason my sinuses inexplicably get worse out of nowhere and my voice kind of goes away, then I'll just, you know, I'll just upload these like probably like 2 stream clips that I'll get from streaming. Then I'll just record the rest of the Terraria videos throughout the week. Probably same for the balloons videos as well. But it's getting better. It seems like it's pretty long, the way that it's progressed. The cold, I mean, it's pretty long. But I think it's on the tail end now. When I first started seeing symptoms, I think I really just had like a very slightly stuffy nose, or like runny nose, like a little sniffly and kind of irritated nose. And then the next day I started sneezing and coughing a bit more. And then the next day it was all clogged up. All my sinuses were messed up. I could barely hear. Hard to speak well. I had trouble maintaining focus. I think I had a slight fever at some point too, which made everything just kind of worse. But I'd be kind of like in my chair or in my bed trying to watch something, and I could barely pay any attention or keep track of what was happening. And anytime I tried to actually get up and, you know, do something, my body was like, no, actually you have no balance, and everything kind of feels wonky, and you just can't get up. And Oh, alright, cool. But it's better now. So, I think we're on the tail end here. Again, unless something goes horribly wrong and it gets worse out of nowhere, but that's not that common for just a random cold. So, I don't really think that's gonna go down like that. Never know, I guess. Okay, there we go. Can we craft these back into wood? Yes, we can. Great. Go ahead and light this up with some torches. Just gonna place these kind of willy-nilly for now, until we get a better idea of what we're actually gonna put here. Looks real ugly, but whatever. It's okay. And then the living loom, I mean, we could just leave it there. I don't think that's a bad spot for it. We could place it in one of these guys' rooms, maybe? In the merchant's room, probably. Like, right there. Yeah, that looks okay. Put all this stuff away. And replant some trees that I cut down. Let's see, we've got tools. We've got some new tools, I see. Got some furniture that can go in the main house. Acorns need to be replanted. Yeah, we'll just drop everything off in here, basically. Gnomes, what do you do? Material, it can be placed. Okay, so I'll just put you in the materials for now. Yeah, and I actually did, I should probably mention this, I actually did separate out some of the different vanilla stuff from the modded stuff. With materials especially, because we're going to see a lot more of those later on, so I decided to just separate these out. All these are vanilla. You can see them in like any normal Terraria run. Then all of these are from Calamity, so you won't see these in your normal Terraria run. And I did that with a few other things as well, I believe, but I just can't remember at the moment. What is this? Apu fruit. It's equipable, it's a vanity item. Is this a pet? A fruit that calms your nerves. May have unintended side effects. Oh. No, I guess it's just... Oh. Oh, it turns you into, some character. I don't know what that is referencing. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be somebody from HoloLive, maybe? That I don't recognize, or it's maybe it's a developer. Because it says, you know, it's a developer item, so maybe somebody who worked on Calamity worked on this, perhaps. I don't know. I don't think we really need to keep any of this stuff. All this is just food and accessories we've already had. Go ahead and put this fruit away. Vanity chest. Vanity sets, one-offs, vanity tools. I would put this in the vanity sets, because even though it is just one item, it is full costume, so. That's cool, that's pretty neat. I didn't expect to get anything like that, but cool. Alright. That being done, I guess we can just go ahead and start searching for new content. I think the first thing we could do is find a meteorite. So if I remember correctly, I believe at the end of last week's stream, after we killed the Eater of Worlds, there was a text on screen that said a meteorite has landed, which is great news for us because that will get us some new weapons and some new tools. So I think we should go search for that. Typically, a meteorite in this game will just spawn randomly, and it will just take a chunk of the world with it and replace it with an ore. So it should be pretty obvious to see from the surface. Yeah, we can definitely mine Ebonstone now, so that's cool. So if we want to make these corrupt areas a little bit easier to traverse around, we can do that now. Let's go ahead and search for the meteorite first. It should be visible from the surface. Most times it is, but sometimes it'll do stuff like where it'll like come down a little canyon or like crevice in the world like this, and it'll go like straight down. And sometimes it's a little bit harder to see, but you know, most of the time it'll just hit the surface. Sorry, by the way. I should have said in advance, but sorry for any gross noises I make during the stream. Probably going to be like that for the whole stream. I just need to remember to mute if it's particularly loud. But sometimes I'm bad at that. I'm still not completely cleared up in my sinuses, so definitely bound to be a few times of me coughing or sniffling or sneezing or whatever the case may be. So, apologies. And, I hate to say it, but I am eating breakfast right now. Or brunch, if you want to call it brunch. You know, it is technically not morning anymore where I live, so... I don't know if you want to call that breakfast anymore because it's not morning, but had a bowl of cereal. I'm working on a granola bar right now, or a protein bar. I've got coffee, and in a bit I'm going to crack into some sparkling water and a ginger ale, so yeah, apologies for any gross noises. Oh, that's kind of sad. This desert's gonna get corrupted eventually. I guess I could put some dirt blocks around here, some grass blocks, and put some dandelions in here to stop that. Because you can't plant dandelions on sand, so I would have to do that at some point if I want that spread to stop. But I'll worry about that in just a moment. I'm not really sure about the rules of meteorites, like 100% sure of all the rules. So I wonder if like there's a chance it could take out one of our neighborhoods just by pure chance. As far as I know, that can't happen. Like I've never had that happen to me. And I've always thought it was kind of programmed into the game to not land anywhere near NPCs, regardless of where they're at in the world. So I can't really tell you if that's, you know, if that's the case that maybe you can get some of your houses destroyed. But I don't know. I don't know if that's completely true or not. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, okay. So this is the meteorite, if I can get a good look at it. You'll see there's a music change, there's new blocks here, that's the ore that we can collect. New enemies around. Unfortunately, it is the blood moon, so we have to kind of probably wait a while before we can actually start collecting this ore. Yeah, the meteorite's cool because of the new environment that it brings, but also the blocks that it spawns, those, they kind of look like hellstone, but it's not hellstone. That ore actually hurts you if you try to stand on it, unless you're wearing something made out of obsidian. So if I have these boots on, that will protect me from the meteorite blocks. Or this magma skull as well will do that. It doesn't really matter which one we wear at the moment, because they both effectively do the same thing for us right now. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna have to wait till the end of the blood moon to actually make use of that meteorite, so just gotta wait around for a few minutes. So, you know, besides being sick this week, it's been a bit interesting, in other ways. I talked about this, during my Astria videos. But I went hiking the other day. This was like before I started really feeling sick. But I decided to go out hiking because I need some pictures for some thumbnails or like album covers, album art, I guess you could say. Thumbnails, whatever the case may be. This project I've been working on, I've talked about it plenty of times, but this album I've been working on, for the singles that I've released so far, I've used pictures that I took around my town. For one of them, there was a farm that you can go into and walk around in. And then for the other one, it was a lake that you can drive up to, and I don't know if you can fish in it, but you can walk up to it at least. I think maybe rent a paddle boat or something like that. Just hang out. And those are both in my town, so there's another picture I have saved that I'm going to use for the album cover. And the last picture I wanted to use was from a hiking trail that I just went on. So I've had the idea of getting that picture for a while. But I finally decided to actually go out and, take the hike and take the picture. Which was fun. The hike was only about, I'd say 30 minutes each way, so about an hour total. It's not like it's a huge trail or anything. It's barely a hiking trail, to be honest with you. Usually a hiking trail is going to be like sanctioned by the city, and it's going to be like an actual path with signs and like possibly railways so you don't like fall over and die. But this isn't like that. It's just kind of a natural clearing in the mountain. I believe there's a waterfall up the mountain somewhere that leads down that way. So I think at some point the city had to clear out some of the trees and rocks and everything there to get the water flowing down past the street, if that makes sense. They routed it below the street, so it goes into like a bridge, not a bridge, a river. And that river is definitely like, paved and like an actual river from the city. Like it's a man-made river. The path leading up, to the mountain, I believe all they did is move the rocks and the trees around so that the water could easily flow down without flooding over the street. So it's not really a hiking path. They didn't clear out the path with the intention of people walking up there. But people do all the time. It's like one of the only things people in this town can do. So I decided to go that way and get that picture. And, like I said, it's not like an official hiking trail or anything, so there's plenty of rocks and branches in the way, and there's like wild birds out a lot of the time. At least there was when I was there. If you go out at the right time, you probably see some coyotes or something like that. So it's definitely not like a real hiking trail, I would say. But it's still hikeable for sure. Like I said, it's about 30 minutes each way. You've got to cross some like muddy dirt. Oh, excuse me, I gotta mute. Oh my god. That was horrible. I just started tearing up. God, that was horrible. Excuse me. But yeah, anyways. To get up to where I was going, you have to cross some, like, muddy paths that have a bunch of rocks in the ground. And it's, like, uneven. There's branches blocking some ways and everything like that, so... Definitely a cool thing to do if you live where I live. It's just not really official, so you won't see like signs saying don't cross this way or beware of snakes or something like that. Like it's not really a hiking trail. But it's still fun. One part that did kind of scare me, though, was this, about 10 minutes into the trail, you see a big old, not like a huge cliff, but it's about like, I'd say maybe 30 feet in the air, which is, you know, sizable enough for a cliff. But it's about 30 feet of rock wall where some of the water, you can see some of the water leads down from. And you can actually climb up that rock face. It's rough enough that you can grab onto plenty of holds and everything to actually climb up there with no gear. Which is a bit scary. Like I said, it's about 30 feet in the air, if not a little bit higher, so it's definitely not something you want to fall from. But it's fun to climb it regardless. So I did that. I went further up the trail, and then ended up at, like, you know, the last point that I could go to without any gear. It was another rock face, so it was another 25, 30 feet in the air. Again, you can see more water leading up from there, so you can tell there's, you know, some kind of natural canal that was carved by the water. You know, that goes up there, up that mountain further, but I just couldn't climb any further without any more gear, so I stopped there, I grabbed my pictures, and then I left. So, you know, I had to climb down that rock that I climbed earlier, of course, which, again, is kind of scary, but I still had fun.